A massive landslide struck the southern Italian island of Sicily after extreme rainfall triggered a major slope collapse in the town of Niscemi. The incident caused houses to fall off the cliff edge, forced the evacuation of more than 1,500 residents, and has now led to the area being declared uninhabitable. Italian authorities described the incident as one of the worst landslides in Sicily in decades. The town's edge gradually collapsed, revealing shifting ground and a large crack that widened by the hour. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni visited Niscemi in person on Wednesday, following the disaster. She surveyed the damage from a helicopter before meeting with local and regional officials at the town hall. Dozens of homes were seen dangling from the cliff edge, some of which had lost their foundations. Several buildings and vehicles reportedly plunged up to 20 meters into the lowlands below due to the collapse. The landslide is stretched for about 2.5 miles. Authorities have established a 150-meter wide no-go zone around the affected area due to ongoing landslides. The head of Italy's Civil Protection Agency, Fabio Siciliano, stated that some residents may never be able to return to their homes. The town of Niscemi, home to around 25,000 residents, now faces the grim reality that parts of its territory have become permanently uninhabitable. Homes on the edge of the landslide will undoubtedly have to be abandoned. The entire hill is collapsing towards the Gela plain, describing the scale of the destruction. Prime Minister Meloni emphasized that the central government will work with regional authorities to find long-term relocation solutions for affected families. We cannot allow people to live on land that is constantly moving. The Italian government declared a state of national emergency for Sicily, Sardinia, and Calabria earlier this week. An initial fund of €100 million has been set aside for emergency response and initial assistance to victims. However, Sicilian regional officials estimate that the total damage from the storm and landslide could reach €2 billion. Infrastructure, housing, and productive land have been severely damaged in a short time. Niscemi itself is located about 195 kilometers from Palermo on a geologically fragile plateau. Experts say the area is slowly sliding into the Gela plain below. The town is built on layers of sand and clay that are highly permeable to rainwater. This condition makes the soil easily saturated and prone to instability during prolonged, extreme rainfall. History records that this is not the first time landslides have hit Niscemi. In 1997, a similar event forced the evacuation of around 400 people. Giovanna Papalardo, a professor of applied geology at the University of Catania, said this landslide had much more serious characteristics. The landslide front stretches for about 4 kilometers and directly threatens houses along the slope. This latest landslide began on Sunday, coinciding with the impact of Cyclone Harry, which brought extreme rain and strong winds to southern Italy for several days. The storm exacerbated the already fragile soil conditions, triggering major movements that experts and rescue teams are still monitoring. The tragedy also sparked strong criticism of past development policies. Many argued that houses should not have been built in areas with a high landslide risk. The leader of the opposition Democratic Party, Elly Schlein, urged Meloni's government to divert €1 billion allocated for the controversial bridge project between Sicily and mainland Italy. Schlein argued that the funds should have been used to rebuild areas devastated by the storm and landslides, and to protect residents from future disasters. Meanwhile, the residents of Niscemi face great uncertainty. With hills continuing to crumble and the ground unstable, this disaster is a stark symbol of how extreme weather and geological vulnerabilities can combine to engulf towns, homes, and lives in an instant.